Ladies and gentlemen, nice to meet you. It's my great pleasure to give a speech at this conference. My topic is 导引 and 养生. My name is Liu Feng, a master tutor and associate professor of Beijing University. I got my doctorate degree of acupuncture and massage at Beijing University of TCM. My research realm is Chinese medical Qigong. Now, I am an executive director and director of training department of Chinese Medical Qigong Association, and then a member of the geriatric rehabilitation branch of Chinese Geriatric Healthcare Research Association. I'm also the member of the senior editorial board of Chinese Medical Qigong and Chinese health preservation. It is difficult to find an appropriate term in English for the word 养生. Chinese self-care is a popular word used in the UK, while in China it would be translated as Chinese health preservation. In my opinion, the subject of 养生 actually goes beyond the normal definition of self, and the health preservation effect occurs during the way to 养生. Therefore, I would prefer to use the Chinese pronunciation of 养生 in my speech. It will also be further explained in the following PPT slide of how to understand 养生. The following speech includes 4 parts: how to understand the 导引, how to understand the 养生, and the correlation between 导引 and 养生. Then at last, some demonstration of 导引 practice. First, how to understand 导引 will be explained from 3 aspects. The literature, in other words, a brief historical review. The meaning of the Chinese characters, and some conclusion. The term 导引 appeared in very early era of Chinese classical literature, about 2,300 years ago, during the spring and autumn period of China. This word was clearly mentioned in the Zhuangzi, attributed to one of Taoism founder fathers, Zhuangzhou. This term was mentioned again in the Yellow Empire's Classic of Internal Medicine, which consists of 2 volumes. Plain questions. Chinese pronunciation is Su Wen, and miraculous pivot. Chinese pronunciation is Ling Shu. In the plain questions, 导引 was considered as one of the 6 TCM treatments alongside the other 5 other treatments: acupuncture, massage, moxibustion, stone needle, and herbal remedies. While in the miraculous pivot, 导引 was recommended for the people with good flexibility and peaceful mind. About 1,700 years ago, during Eastern Jin Dynasty, 导引 was called the key to 养生 in the 抱朴子. And about 1,000 years ago, during the Northern Song Dynasty, the word 导引 occurs frequently in the Yunji 期间, the authority of the Taoist canon. This book suggests that Daoyin has at least three characteristics. First, compared with leading qi, Daoyin is better at treating disease of limbs. Second, Daoyin always appeared in conjunction with the method Bigu with taking qi, that is, fasting by substituting qi for food. Thirdly, its positive medical effects were taken for granted. There is more details about this step. First, I want to give a brief introduction, about the five books. Zhuangzi is famous for his fables, and the Yellow Empire's Classics of Internal Medicine is the most important book of TCM. And Bob Huzi was written by Ge Hong, a famous Taoist figure in Chinese history. Second, it is regarded that Taoism and medicine originated from the same source in China. There had been a close connection between Chinese Taoism and traditional Chinese medicine. Many Taoist scholars and even the founders of the sections themselves are experts in traditional Chinese medicine, such as Wang Di, Ge Hong, Cao Hongjing, Sun Simiao, and so on. So TCM theory and Taoism theory also have been interlinked. Third, the literature mentioned in this PPT is only selected from the text before the Song Dynasty, mainly because after Song Dynasty, there were few original documents. Okay, now from the analysis of the Chinese character that makes up the word Daoyin, we can get some useful clues about the meaning of Daoyin itself. The word Dao consists of two parts, upper part Dao and lower part Cun. Dao refers to a road without branches. The lower part Cun has the meaning of hand, which can be extended to suggest a certain rule. It means let something move in a certain way. So the ancient Chinese interpret the Dao as guiding qi according to a nature state. Now the rule here is a complete nature, and the medium used here is Dao. According to the theory of TCM, the medium refers to the qi, which is not only the air for breathing, but also the energy flowing inside the meridians. So that if we want to get to the natural states, we can adjusting breathing or adjusting mind or adjusting both. In fact, the two are controlled in unison because for the practitioner, the basis regulation is directly based on the judgment of their own feelings. Yin has the meaning of drawing a bow in archery. It expresses both the process of pulling the bow away from the string, which emphasizes the action of the movement, and also can present the result of pulling away the bow, which emphasizes the posture. Therefore, ancient Chinese explained yin as adjusting the movements and all posture to soften the body. The resulting of softness is neither a state of effortlessness, no stiffness, but a state of flexible tension, like when a ball is drawn free. Through the analysis of the above, we can get some conclusion about Douyin. It is not find it's not hard to find out that the practice of Douyin includes adjustment of breathing, mind, posture, and movement. Or should I say theme? Its criterion is three adjustment into one, which is rather than any single adjustment to body, breathe, or mind. That is more than harmony. Because of nature, the state as a whole, without any I want. Everybody know Qigong now is defined as a skill of body-mind exercise that integrates the three adjustments of body, breath, and mind into one. Therefore, it is appropriate to attribute Daoyin practice to the category of Qigong. I want to see more about three adjustments into one. This is a very important principle of Qigong. It is a state which cannot be achieved through any active method and can only occur naturally. It can be compared to sleeping. If one want to sleep, he can find the most comfortable sleep position, something like body adjustment. He can slow down breathing, something like breath adjustment, or just counts silently, mind something like mind adjustment. But to help him get to sleep easily. But none of these methods are sleep itself. And furthermore, once asleep, all the active steps mentioned appeared. They aren't exist. But during the sleep, breathing adjustment and turning the body are still take place. So, see something like the state of three adjustment into one. And furthermore, sleep can be divided into deep sleep, light sleep, and so on. Also, that state integrating three adjustments into one also can be divided into many stages. And based on those terms and the medical literature, where the word Daoyin appears in a high frequency, we can find that the purpose of Daoyin is clear, which can be summarized as a medical purpose of healing and cultivation. And cultivation is the main purpose. But some disease may affect how the state of cultivation evolves. So the process of cultivation is a process of Yangsheng. And during the process of Daoyin practice, life can be prolonged and the disease can be expelled, which is constant with the application of medical Qigong. So here is a simple illustration of the connection and the distinction between medical Qigong and Daoyin. From these tables, it can be seen clearly that many Daoyin the many instruments of Douyin come from the posture movement and the breathing adjustment, but medical qigong can come into the state by body, breathing, mind adjustment, and only because medical qigong's only purpose is healing. So we can get many medical qigong from all sources, such as Buddhism, and Douyin only comes from medicine and Buddhism. Now, let's to do something. Let's to do something about how to understand Yang. The word Yang first appeared in the existing literature, which now is generally considered to be the same book, 庄子. In this book, there is one chapter was named as 养生主. It is composed of two parts. One part is 养生, the other part is 主. The Chinese character is just 主, is just at the right corner. This one with the original meaning of a lit candlestick. Continuously lighted candle can be lit to give us instruction. So the title can be interpreted as the template of Yang. And this chapter indeed special in Yang, with 5 fables, just named a chef dismembering cattle, a governor only with one food, a pheasant drinking and eating in the wild, morning law, 老丹百清事, forgetting the oil as long as far as delivering. In the fable of a chef dismembering cattle, a chef broke down the beef with only one knife for using 19 years without any damage. He said that being proficient in the cattle anatomy, the blade would always accurately pass through the gaps among the bones, muscles, and so on. So the blade was barely worn out and was still looked like new after 19 years. Here, the never-changed sharp knife is compared to Yang. For the enlightenment of Yang, it can be considered that through the first stage of Yang, one should master the law, thus conform to the general normal. Second people, governor only with one food. People in this fable, senior governor had only one food, and people were curious to know whether it happened before he was born or after he was born. The senior governor said that when he was born, he had only with one food, but this didn't become an obstacle for him to become a senior governor. Here, the aim becoming the governor is compared to Yang. For the enlightenment of Yang, it can be considered that through the second stage of Yang, in addition to mastering the laws, one should know the things out of the common laws and can accept them, thus conforming to the abnormal. In the pheasant drinking and eating in the wild, um, the pheasant was taken as an example that it would rather feed in the wild than live in captivity. Here, the choice is compared to Yangsheng. For the enlightenment of Yangsheng, it can be considered that during the stage, the key point of Yangsheng has been involved the attitude toward life and death. One should prefer paying most attention to the process of life to being constrained by life and death. Only with this that one can calmly face the law and the accident in life, thus conforming to changing. The fourth fable, Morning Law done by Qin Shi. In this fable, after Lao died, many people went to mourn. Everyone was dejected. But one of the closest friends of Lao Tzu, Qin Shi, didn't think so. He believed that the mourners had their own reasons for grief, but they had all forgotten the original aspiration and identity, which was not what Lao Tzu needed during the lifetime. Here, the original aspiration is compared to Yangsheng. For the enlightenment of Yangsheng, it can be considered that through this stage, the key point of Yangsheng has been involved beyond life and death. One should stick to the original aspiration and identity, thus conforming to invariability. Forgetting the oil as soon as the fire is delivering. It is both a conclusion and a description of the ultimate meaning end of Yangsheng. The oil ignited wrought the flame. The mission of the oil had been completed, and it was not important whether the oil existed. Here, the stage Golden Ore is compared to Yangsheng. For the enlightenment of Yangsheng, it can be considered that when the ultimate end meaning has arrived, it has become not important how to arrive in Yangsheng stage. It is that nothing should be clung to. From the all above, we can get some conclusion about Yangsheng. And here is a comparison among Yangsheng health practitioner and treatment. This table, from this table, we can see it clearly. And I want to see more. You will find that between Yangsheng and health protection and treatment, perhaps there is gaps. And I personally like Douyin very much, only because Douyin can be applied in all these three processes, and all can get the goal perfected. For treatment, Douyin emphasizes the rapidly individual operation skills. And for health production, Douyin emphasizes a serious operation skills. And for Yangsheng, Douyin always practicing with Bigu with operating qi. Here, life and death is incompletely simulated by fasting or calorie control in order to achieve the pursuit of ultimate end. Then here is the correlation between Daoyin and Yangsheng. You will find easily that Daoyin is an important component of Yangsheng, and it is also the fundamental approach to Yangsheng. Then, at last, I want to give some demonstration of Daoyin to show you how Daoyin works. First, let's see the videos. First one is holding up heaven with both hands to regulate triple energize, which is 八段锦, the first part of the 八段锦.
七下，手心向上，吸气，手在下丹田，交叉，平胸，转掌，翻掌，上推，置顶，稍停片刻，总体色下落，回到提波式站桩。
The second Daoyin, lifting the tripod like Hercules.
我们站档，开始，起，平肩，转掌，如托重物，掌平，体侧落下。
The two individual operation skills have three same posture. These are hands on the level of the lower dantian, just below the navel, and hands on the level of the chest, and hands on the level of the head above. And for doing practice, we should use some breathe adjustment. For respiration phase, we always know exhalation and inhalation, but always neglect the holding breath. In fact, the holding breath is most important because everybody knows the most fun, important, and effective operation is done during the process of holding breath. Okay, now for the two individual operation Daoyin skills, we'll divide the movement into three parts by the three posture, where now there has three respiration phases, so we can randomly combine these three breathing phases and three movement parts and get 6 different modes of operation. If the movement path hand from the lower dantian to chest is accompanied with breathing in, the rest two action combined the rest two breathing phase will make two moves. If the action hand from the lower dantian to chest is accompanied with breathing out, and the two modes are obtained again. And then if the action hand from lower dantian to chest is accompanied with holding breath, Still, 2 new modes are obtained, so there is totally 6 operation modes.
双手托天，李三江。
From the point of 3 adjustment into 1, the 6 mode is both okay, but we can get different effects. We can do some exercises to find it. For example, to find the difference between crossed hand and uncrossed hand. These effects come from different body adjustment. And we also can get some experiments of 6 modes. This 6 modes is both okay, but if we want to get the regulating the triple energize, perhaps one of the 6 modes is most suitable. I want to give this question for you. Then there is more something about key point of mind adjustment. You know that when we do mind adjustment, in fact, there is 2 modes. One is following, the other is guiding. Following means we pay more attention to the feeling itself. And guiding means we just first imagine the feeling, then let the feeling appears. So, in my opinion, doing Douyin practice, you should use the following ones, not guiding ones. At last, I want to finish my speech with one sentence, written also by Zhuangzhou. Life is limited, while knowledge is unlimited. It will never be succeeded in exploring the unlimited knowledge with limited life. Perhaps Yangsheng by practicing Daoyin is the only way to grasp all knowledge. Who knows? Thank you for all.